What's going on? What's going on? It's good to see everybody back on another Friday night. I'm excited that you guys made it to the show. I'm excited to be able to hang out with these guys once again. We always have a great time, and tonight I'm sure will be no different. If you're joining us for the first time, I want to welcome you. If you have a question, just put a Q by it in the comment section, and we will get to it as soon as we can. And man, it's good to see you guys again. You guys had a pretty good week.
I
Sorry,
have.
I just
It's been a
lost
great
sound
week.
there.
We're starting again. We're starting again with the technical difficulties. Everybody hit that like button for us so we can. The further this video goes, the better the quality of the technology gets for us. So, um, nah, everybody. Dave, how you doing, man? Oh, he must be buffering out on me.
I'm doing
I don't know if
I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. First week of just doing YouTube, so it's been fun, but a little bit of a whirlwind. But been really good. How are you doing, Kip?
Doing great, man. Doing great. I had fun last week at Carnivore Quest meetup and been back at it on the grind at work and everything. And it's glad to get back and chat with y'all again tonight. What about you, Sean
awesome.
or Larry?
I've had a great week. Like Kip said, the meetup went awesome. You know, Sean and Kip were both there. Unfortunately, Dave's a little further away, so he couldn't make it. But we had a good time, and it went off without a hitch. And it was so great to see so many people. Like Kip traveled like 8-9 hours. There are people that traveled further than that, so it was really nice. And Cassie worked her butt off to pull it off, and everybody enjoyed themselves. So been kind of winding down since then. If you guys don't know, I put out a video about Kip today. Check that out.
Absolutely.
And,
Check it out.
yeah, he needs your support. So go check that out. And it's great to be here with you guys. You know, and everybody watching, no matter what channel you're on. What's up, Sean?
Absolutely. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm always excited. Seeing everybody jumping in. Special shout. One of my favorite docs in the world, Dr. Kiltz, is in here. If I'd have known, I'd have just sent a link, man. You could have jumped in and shared some of that inspiration with us tonight. But dude, it's always good. That meetup was awesome. Being able to just put faces with names and situations, people that traveled the whole journey with us, man, that's what it's about, being able to reach other people and those people who have helped us, man. There's a lot of people in Carnivore Quest that really pushed me whenever I needed it. You never know who you're going to inspire. You never know who you're going to help. Because a lot of times whenever I needed help the most, I wasn't vocal and out front. I wasn't talking on YouTube. It was before the YouTube. I was getting in the group with the people that I was traveling the journey with, and something that they posted was done so at the right time that gave me the right words that I needed to help me to keep going forward. So community is huge. We can't emphasize it enough. And just helping carry each other's burdens, man, is huge. So big shout out to Larry and Cassie for putting that together in that group. And, you know, and it just transfers over to the group that I started, so I think it's good for us all to do those things. Oh, and Kip, good gracious, bro. I had my man working out with me when he came out. He drove 8 hours and then just did a workout. Like,
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Like, I didn't think that, Sean made me wait till last minute and he said, "Hey, you want to come over to the house?" And I was like, "All right, yeah, I'm coming over. Let's go." So we went over to your house and hung out. You cooked us some of those awesome steaks that you've been telling everybody about. And we pigged out on the steaks. And then afterwards, we went on that walk. And that was a special time for me, man. I can't wait to get back up there and walk with you again.
absolutely, man. It means a lot. And honestly, Sunday, and I don't know, I didn't ask him if I could say this, but I'm gonna share it just because it meant the world to me. Our friend that showed up to the meetup, my friend Steve Heater, he came over to the house Sunday before him and his wife took off back home to Ohio. And we had lunch after church on Sunday, and he wanted to walk too. He asked me to walk, and he wanted to walk over and touch the door on the church that I sent a picture to my wife a year ago and was dreaming about making that walk. He made the walk. He touched the door. This man has lost 50 pounds in 8 weeks, and he's well on his way to changing his life. So that's just for I'm super proud of him. What is it? Carnivlogs is his thing that he's starting up. I don't think he's got very many videos up, but I'm supporting him. I'm supporting him not just for the YouTube thing, but I'm supporting him mostly because I've seen the change in his life, and I know what's ahead if he stays with it, because that's exactly where I was a year ago. And if you're at home right now watching this, that could be you next year too. You got to step out. Oh man, we got some chats already. Let me start popping them up before I get behind. Y'all let me get carried away talking, and, and we'll never stay caught up. Thanks for the sub, Steve. I appreciate you, man. That means a lot to me. Gina, hey, looking forward to tonight's live. You're so much fun to watch. What a great bunch of guys. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the encouragement and helping keep everything going, man. Wherever you guys are watching, if you donate on that channel, that the money goes there, and it helps Kip, it helps Larry, it helps Dave, and it helps me just invest back in the channel and keep things going. And, it means a lot more to all of us than We're not about money. Obviously, we can make money a lot of different ways. But each time you guys do that, it does mean a lot to us. And it does go a long way to help keep things going. So thank you, Gina and Steve. And then also, Beverly, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate that.
Awesome.
Oh, what else? We got some questions coming in too. Yeah, if you guys got something, you can shout it out too. I don't want to be the only one up here talking. Oh, Pam says, I am losing but slow. How do I tell if I'm getting enough fat? Dave, what would you say to getting enough fat? How do you know when you've had enough fat, brother?
I would say the easiest way, personally, for me to tell is if I'm not feeling hungry, I've had enough fat. If I'm spending too much time in the bathroom, I've had too much fat. That's just the balance that I've found. Kip, any thoughts on that one?
You kind of stole it out of my mouth, Dave. I was going to say, I kind of feel like I might have had a little too much fat tonight, because after this stream, I'm probably going to be headed straight to the toilet. But anyway, yeah, you pretty much nailed it. What about you, Larry?
From one stream to another.
Cassie gauges, if she's had too much that same way. Like if she got to go use the bathroom a lot, she's had too much fat. Me, it's like, I know when I've had enough. It's like if I sit down and eat some bacon, all of us, it'll start tasting not good. And that's when I know I've had enough. Until then, it tastes delicious. So for me, it's my tongue where, Cassie, it's, she'll know the next day if she's had too much or not. But Sean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same way as Cassie, and I'm the same way as Kip, man. When I've had too much fat, I know it pretty quickly, because I will have to beeline for the loo, So, but it doesn't take that and electrolytes. Both of those affect me the same way. When I've had too much, I know it pretty quick. So, and the thing is, honestly, it sounds as weird and crazy as it sounds. I will feel like I can go when I get hungry. If I want butter, normally butter, I could take a big bite out of a stick of butter and I'm good. But if I want like a steak, I know it's more protein. And is my body telling me, hey, I want protein? Hey, I want fat? I don't know. I don't know that I hear it that clearly. But usually I don't look at a stick of butter and think, man, I want to take a bite out of that. But when I do, it usually satisfies me. So maybe I'm just weird. I don't know. But the bathroom thing's definitely one of the things that lets me know real quick that I've had too much. And as far as protein, it's extremely hard to overeat protein. Protein is what absolutely will fill you up. You might be able to overeat it for a little bit, but for a prolonged period of time, you're not going to overeat protein a whole lot. It's just not going to happen. It's extremely hard. Maybe you can, but I don't know. I'd be surprised. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, buddy. Question, Kip, how are you feeling now? I want you to embrace the hate you may hear sometimes and keep going. I want to see you do the 5K. Absolutely, my dude. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely. I
go,
mean, I'm feeling fine now. Like, I mean, of course, I had a little chat with everybody earlier, and it kind of helped me out actually to do it. And of course, I don't want tonight to be all about me or anything, but having that conversation helped me out and everything, and helped me get some stuff off my mind. And so I think it was good. And I'm refocusing. And before, whenever I'd been through like difficult situations or whatever, I would want to like cheat and go off plan, but I'm getting better. I'm working really hard at not doing that. And whenever I'm in stressful situations and things like that, to stay the course. And I'm thankful that this week, after all that I've been through, that I have stayed the course. And I'm learning a lot from the mistakes that I've made in the past. But anyway, thank you for the question.
yeah, and honestly, none of us have it all figured out. Obviously we get on YouTube, we make videos, we do the best we can with what we've got to work out, but believe it or not, even people on YouTube don't have all the answers and have it all figured out, and sometimes we make mistakes, right? But at the same time, you know, support everybody, love everybody, trying to do the best you can. My man's helping people out. People want to hate. It is what it is.
Yeah, I would have, I would have definitely addressed the haters, Kip, if I had made that video, after your video today, because we've dealt with that a few times, and you tune them out 90% of the time, but sometimes it can get to you. And, I've made a few videos in the past, yeah, addressing those idiots. And, yeah, I wish I had waited a couple days on your video, but I'll tell you right now, just don't pay him no attention, and
Mhm.
don't let him get you off track. You're doing great
Appreciate
though,
it.
man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. I
Definitely.
show love to everybody, but at the same time, don't get it twisted. Just because these dudes are some of the best dudes in the world and they're nice and they go over and above to help people, we are carnivores. Like we are carnivore. You ever seen a lion take a whole bunch of bull crap for long?
Dave, do you get a lot of negative comments on your channel? Because I mean, you're not losing weight anymore. You know what I mean? Do you get a lot of negative?
Um, I I do, but typically I just like if it's really kind of if it's on the borderline of negative, but it's also somewhat constructive. It's a little bit of feedback. I'll just say, yeah, thanks for your feedback.
Right.
But the people that are pretty inflammatory, I just ignore them. And I often have like so many commenters jump in and reply on my behalf, that
Right.
it's kind of nice to watch that and go, oh wow, there's a lot of support out there.
It's
Yep.
awesome, isn't it?
There's
Mm.
way
That's why.
more there's way more supporters than there is haters anyway. Like, I was
Mm.
talking to y'all about it before the chat, that like 98, 99% of the comments you're gonna get is amazing, but there's always that 1 to 2% that's gonna just say crazy stuff. And I, as a young guy with a young channel, like, I still have to learn, to just keep cool. And it kind of festered up, and then I kind of lost my cool. And I'm not perfect. Only Jesus was perfect. So I had my moment.
I think I'm behind. I swear. Mike says, "Come on, Sean, you got to have Dr. Kiltz on your StreamYard." He's welcome to jump in right now. He just let me know, and I'll send you a thing. You can jump in with us. It's all good with me. I don't know how to get it to you. I'm horrible at doing it on the fly, but I will absolutely. He can come in. He's welcome where I'm at. Oh, let's see. How come they're sterile? Are they like duck version of a mule? I
Oh,
have no idea. I think I might
that's
have jumped in the middle of a
Rick
conversation or
and
something
Rick and Brooke are having a conversation about ducks.
about ducks. Well, that's that's almost quackers.
I've never
Oh
eaten
my!
duck.
Really? I
I've
don't know
never
that I
Oh,
had
I've
have
it.
never.
either.
I've
It's
never had it.
it's pretty good.
Is it close to chicken?
Uh, I don't know how you would really describe it, but Peking duck is really nice. That's the form I've had it in. It's really good.
When
I
I've
love.
had it, it's similar to chicken, but, like, a little fattier. The duck that I had was,
Mm,
like, a little bit fattier, a little oilier.
mm,
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
it wasn't bad.
yeah.
I love that. It's. Have you guys heard of Lions Not Sheep? The brand by Sean Whalen.
No.
Y'all
No.
haven't heard of him? I have. I've seen some of his stuff in advertisements, and like he's kind of motivational. He's more in finance and stuff, but that's one of the things that Dr. Kiltz talks about too. That we're the lions, and that's one thing that I think that when you start seeing yourself as in charge of those things and strong and powerful, and you ever seen a lion who cared about what was going on around it? I love the concept, as far as comparing our journey to the way of the lion, because lion don't care what's going on over here, over there. If the lion's laying around, one thing that brought that to my attention was my buddy, the carnivore pastor Steve, went to on a trip to Africa. I think it was either earlier this year or last year, and he got a picture with two lions, and that you can say whatever you want to about the situation, but them Lions did not give 3 cents or a second thought to him being there. They were just chilling. They were laying there. They didn't move. They just kind of like he was standing there. He got his picture. Now I'm over here. I'm talking about it right now, and my hands are sweating because I can just imagine those lions just wanting to take a big old chunk out of my leg, But they didn't care. And that's the thing. Whenever you get hyper focused on changing your life and being the boss and setting your standards and your boundaries and seeing this thing through, yeah, things may matter going on around you, but you're not gonna let those things affect if you're gonna get to that goal, man. And I think that's kind of like the mindset, right?
100%. Mm.
Oh, running tap. Is lemon juice an electrolyte? What you think, Kip?
Man,
Electrolyte?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that, so I'm not sure. I mean, I like the taste of lemon in water, but now I just drink regular water or plain carbonated water, so I don't have it. But maybe one of y'all's got the answer. Dave, you know?
I'm not sure. That's an interesting question. I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm only drinking water. Larry, any thoughts?
Like if I was like me and Cassie were chilling, playing a board game, she said, "Hey, is lemon an electrolyte?" I'd probably say nah, but I don't know for sure.
So
Um,
you're you,
I don't know for sure. I know Element I think's got a lemon flavored electrolyte, but no, I don't think it is though. Do you know, Sean?
lemons are a fruit. Like lemons are a fruit. So your electrolytes are going to be your sodium, your potassium, your magnesium. You can have trace minerals. You can like even the what is it? Keto chow has iodine in it, I believe. Um, but no lemons. You got chloride, magnesium, boron, copper, iodine, chromium, zinc, magnesium, molybdenum, and selenium. But no lemon. Lemon's a fruit. They just now don't get me wrong. Like so, whenever I was getting off sodas before I started carnivore, I would take water like my big water jug like this, and I would take a little bit of lemon, like real lemon drops, and I would drop it off in the water just to give it some sort of a flavor because I was used to drinking 2 liter Dr. Peppers every day, right? And I used those lemon drops to give the water just a little bit of flavor, and I would add less and less until eventually I took the lemon juice away and I just drank the water. So I did use it as a transitional thing, but electrolyte, no. Oh, let's see. Congratulations, Annabella. It's day 92 carnivore for me. you are starting to see some of that great stuff. And
Congratulations.
congratulations to you. That's awesome.
Yeah, 90 days is when we really started feeling great. That's like you're breaking through. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. By 92 days, my life was
Mhm.
like completely and utterly transformed. Like I was a whole different person. I had already been walking. That video on that short video on my channel of me in the red shirt, that was about 92 days. So I mean, you could see some dramatic. It's amazing how you can spend 40 or 50 years putting toxicity into your body, and in 90 days see that radical of a transformation. You know?
Mhm.
When you think about that, your body really is amazing, right?
Sure
Mm-hmm.
is.
Dude, by
Absolutely.
92 days, I was already like to that point, like mentally, where when you walk in the grocery store, it makes you mad. Like when you walk down the aisles and you see all that different junk food that they give everybody and everything's all these different colors. By then, it's like that's when you really start getting that mindset, you know. And speaking of red shirt, Sean, hey,
Mhm.
Sean is such a great guy that he will give you the clothes off his back. This red shirt Sean gave me whenever I was at his house the other day. So I appreciate it, man. He hooked me up with a bunch of clothes. So he really is a genuine guy that will give you the clothes off his back.
I'm glad you could get some use out of it, brother.
Absolutely.
That red shirt feels good too. I'm gonna tell you.
What's up,
Oh, it's
Steve?
amazing.
What's
Yeah,
that?
there's my man Steve right there, doing great. I'm so proud of you, man. Oh, I'm proud of you too. Day 5, no cigarettes. Love you guys. You've inspired me in your way. Congratulations to you.
Awesome, Toothless. Very cool.
Awesome.
Nice work.
Absolutely, man. So many people are seeing change, and that's awesome. Let's see, where am I at? Went backwards and lost my spot. I got to get some video content. Every time I think about doing some videos, I end up getting on a live stream and doing all my content on the live stream instead of on the videos. But I need to make some videos and talk with some people. Me and Dave talked about finishing up our video critique of the Chafee rebuttal deal or whatever, but we hadn't had a chance to get
We
together and do
never
that
did.
yet.
Oh, by the way, did you see Bart K put a video up rebutting that today?
I
And
saw the advertisement, but I haven't had the chance to watch the video, man.
and this is a classic Bart K reaction. It's really worth a watch.
I'll have to do
Yeah.
that before I go to bed for sure. Oh me, y'all see any questions I missed? I'm at 9:14, scrolling through. Oh, I
It
think we
was
got some
great to
super.
meet Ground Beef Guy at the Carnivore Quest event. We got to meet him there.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to be riding the Keto Palooza with Randy, so it is going to be fun.
Carrie,
We'll
that's
have
a
a good
very
time.
good point. That's a very good point, Carrie. If you have haters, it simply means you've arrived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the things Robert Greene says in his book. What is it? The 48 laws to war or something like that. He's like, whenever you have haters, it just lets you know that you're a worthy opponent, so that's definitely a good point.
Y'all got to quit talking like that. Y'all going to get me fired up. No.
Hey man, it's all good. Well, and the thing is, I said it the other day whenever I was talking in Bella's group with those guys. I was like, don't kill them with kindness, torture them with success, man. I got receipts. I could have took that knowledge and went on about my way and been on about my business. I'm doing this strictly because I want to see other people get it and help other people. You know what I mean? So it is. I don't know. Drax of the North. What do you guys make of the recent talk about YouTube censoring carnivore and keto medical information? Larry, what you think about that, brother?
Well, I actually I have a video planned on that very subject, so I might want to keep my mouth shut. Other you guys won't watch it. Nah, I, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and give my thoughts on that. Kip, you think we're getting censored?
I haven't done enough research on it on that particular topic to give a definite answer, but I wouldn't put it past anything because I don't have a whole lot of trust in even the government and the medical field, the food industry. I don't have a lot of trust in a lot of things. So I wouldn't put it past, you know, different something like that happening. And I don't want to sound political, but I wouldn't put it past it. What about you, Dave?
So, I would think it's highly likely. So I've been fighting with Google since 2006. And what I mean by fighting is like fighting to get to do SEO, to get websites SEO ranked in the Google search engine. And they're just constantly changing the rules, moving the goalposts. Everything that's okay is not okay anymore, all that kind of thing. And, a lot of things end up feeling like being censored or closing down free speech or whatever you want to say. And it all comes down to, they want to keep advertisers happy or whatever. And so I wouldn't imagine it would be any different with YouTube. That influence is going to flow through at some point. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
I will add one thing. It's like just look what they did a few years ago. You had credible doctors who disagreed with the mainstream narrative and they got censored, which is scary. So I mean, that should tell us right there, Sean.
Look what they did to Rogan, man. I mean, look what they
Right.
did to him. Come
Right.
on, dude. That's why when I started YouTube, I also started a Rumble. You know what I mean? Because if you don't get me for the carnivore stuff, you probably gonna get me for the Jesus stuff. But may it never be that I would boast except for in the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, that which the world is crucified to me and I to the world, is what Paul said. One thing or the other, if they're gonna censor you, they're gonna censor you. If that's the case, I'll be somewhere else or I'll be in the streets. That's where I started before YouTube. So I don't want to, I want to get the message out, but at the same time, I'm definitely not going to let that slow me down. I'm going to do everything I can to get every story and every example, every testimony, jumping in lives all the time, talking with these guys on Friday nights, talking with a lot of you guys, having you guys on. I'm not going to slow down and I'm not going to back up. Whatever they can censor, but as long as you guys show up, what they going to do? You know what I mean? So we'll take it outside. How about that? Oh, I got a super chat. Jasmine, I work a desk job at times. It's really slow during those times. I find myself wanting to munch on things. Any advice on how to combat this? Kip, man, what do you think about that? How is it? How would you say is the best thing that you have found since January to keep you on track?
For me, because early on I still wanted to snack some, but I learned for me personally, it works best if I make sure my meals are big enough. Like make sure my meals, I'm not skimping out on my meals because I had this mindset when I first started, like I want to lose weight, so I need to make sure my portions are kind of smaller too. But like I've learned on carnivore, you really don't have to do that. If you're eating the right
That's
food,
right.
you don't have to sit there and constantly try to make sure you're eating super small amounts and things like that. So, I mean, when you're hungry, if in the morning, eat a bunch of bacon or eat a bunch of steak or something like that, eat a bunch of hamburger meat. And and if you're getting hungry a couple hours later, then maybe you didn't quite eat enough. And then the next time, eat more and take stuff with you to work that's a good snack if you have to have it. But eventually, for me, whenever I kept upping the amount of food, eventually I got to the point where I didn't really need it. And the more your body gets adapted and the more your body gets more fat adapted, especially if you got a lot to lose, like I still have to lose. Oh, I mean, I can pretty much go all day if I need to at this point and not have no problems. Larry?
You said it all, man. Our first 60 days on the carnivore diet, I still snacked here and there, and I'd always use bacon. If I want a little something, I'd eat some bacon, and that would take care of it. Now, if you're trying not to snack, definitely increase your meal size, but a little salt on your finger helps too. I do that when I'm fasting. That really helps. But it's more, I think your situation is like a boredom thing. I found myself like, Cassie and I usually set aside like an hour at night for a TV. We'll pick a show and we'll watch 1 hour's worth of TV. And that's when I, would find myself wanting a snack like that. And bacon was my go-to, but try the salt and, you know, combat. I know it's boredom, so combat the boredom. Some kind of mind exercise or something. Memorize some scripture. I've done that before. But Dave, you got any suggestions?
Yeah, so look, I agree with everything that yourself and Kip have said. I just like to add something a little bit different. So I think also it's a boredom thing, like you mentioned, Larry. And what I would say is, of course, you got to make sure, as Kip said, you're eating enough fat, and you've got something there that you can maybe snack on, like bacon or something like that. But also, if we think about it as boredom, let's look at using that downtime in another way to kind of improve your life, right? So you're already improving your life by doing carnivore. Let's now also think about maximizing that downtime that you have, so that you're actually looking forward to that downtime. So whenever you've got those slow periods at work, that's when you think, okay, well, I'm going to focus on um, building some kind of little business for myself. And you could start that by making a YouTube channel. You could start that by blogging about your experiences. You could start that by creating some kind of little product that you're going to sell online, some kind of ebook or something about a topic that you're interested in. Whatever it is, do something like that in your spare time, so that you're actually looking forward to that downtime, because you're working towards something that's going to, you know, propel you forward in a way that's not just health related. So you've got the health thing covered, and now, solve the boredom by focusing on how to improve your life going forward, whether it's financially or just it becomes a new hobby for you or something like that. Sean, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Man, good gracious, that's some good stuff. Well, how am I going to top what you guys said? You guys
You can't.
covered it 100%. That's exactly what I would say. I would definitely. That's exactly where my mind went as soon as I read it. Find something to replace the habits with. That right there, this comment and the explanations. We've all put that into practice, and that's why it's critically important to have the mind change in relation to the food. I believe that's what's happened. Now, just understanding that you, like Dave was mentioning, you can replace those habits that you used to have and all that extra time with life. That's where the
Mm,
life happens at. So you got to find new habits, find new hobbies, find things to invest in. At bare minimum, journal.
mm,
That take that time to, at bare minimum, until you can find something else that you're happy doing or that you really want to invest in and like doing. Maybe just get you a little notepad and write down all the things that you've seen change and how, where you would like to see things go to, ideas, brainstorm how your day's going, stuff that will help you remember what this time is like, because once this day is gone, you don't get this day back. And some of the great stuff that you see happening in your body and in your life every single day, you know, 5 years from now, you may not remember this exact day. So you don't remember that amazing thing that you never thought you could feel, that you could understand, you could get through, you could get over, you could overcome, because you've seen so many things. And if you write it down, if you take a picture of it, if you do like a little video blog of it just for yourself, even if you don't share it, then in 5 years you can look back at that and remind yourself of all the amazing things that you've done, all the things you've overcome that you never thought you could, and it's going to be a blessing. It's almost like you're setting yourself up for those successes in the future.
It's good.
Thank you for the super chat too, Jasmine. Appreciate that a lot. Ryan said, I didn't start Carney to lose weight, but did anyway. I think I'm losing too much. Do any of you have any food suggestions to maintain or even gain weight? Dairy, more eggs. Dave, what would you? How would you answer that one?
Well, my experience is that maybe dairy might be good for you as far as for getting the weight up a bit. I really enjoy. I went through a period, when it was really popular. Everyone was eating their sticks of butter. I went through a kind of phase like that myself, and I really enjoy eating butter. But I did notice that I started to go up a little bit with my weight. So I would think maybe add just sit there munching on some butter or something like that and see what that does to your weight. Maybe give that a try.
Well, and the thing is, man, like if you're eating the dairy to gain weight, let's break that down though. So like if you're eating butter to gain weight, how are you gaining weight by eating the dairy? The same way we tell people not to eat the dairy to lose the weight, because it's the lactose. It's not the way. The only way that I've heard to be able to gain the weight is to lift heavy things, because your body is going to regulate where you're at, right? And I'm not saying I've got it figured out. I'm just saying, like, to the best of my knowledge, like, I don't want to start eating carbs again to put weight on. I could do it. I've done it. I did it for 40 years, right? But that's not what we want. If you want, like, get in the gym, work on that muscle, work on, your bone. You've been working on bone density eating carnivore. Your bone density is going to get stronger, thicker, whatever. But lifting heavy weights, otherwise, like, your body is going to regulate through its own processes where you're supposed to be. And I mean, I guess the other question that I would have to put back on you is, like, why do you think you're losing too much weight? I mean, if you're not under eating, if you're eating the right amounts, and then and nothing's going on with your health outside of what you might know about, I'd be curious to know why you think you're losing too much weight.
Sean,
Anybody else?
I'd add to that too. Like, I feel like in this country, I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but I know obesity being such a huge problem in the United States, like we have it, like it's almost like we've forgotten what a normal sized person should look like. So like we all have these goals of what we want to be, and in all reality, a lot of times we're actually made to weigh less than that. And like I've always been like, man, I can't never get under 275 pounds, even if I tried, because when you're right at 500 pounds, you're not thinking that you could actually get way lower than that. But as time goes on and my carnivore journey continues, like, I mean, I'm realizing that, hey, you can actually get smaller than that. Like, I know Sean probably didn't think he would weigh what he weighs now, even with the extra skin that you still have. Like, if that skin was gone, you'd weigh even less than what you do now. And so, I mean, it's like we're all so used to everybody being so inflamed and so obese and everything in this country that we've forgotten what a normal sized person even looks like. Now, if you go on any diet and you start losing weight, all of your friends start thinking that you're sick. And I'm like, no, you're just getting healthy, and everybody's freaking out thinking that you're going to die.
I would agree. I think that's spot on. I agree. Oh, let's see here. Miss Cassie, good to see you, friend. Kip, how is your beautiful wife and sweet daughter today?
They're doing great. We went and ate hamburgers a little while ago, and then after that, I can hear them in the other room right now. She's rocking my daughter to sleep. I can hear her like saying, mumbling all kind of words.
It was awesome. I got a picture with Miss Abigail when she was over here at the house. We got down in the floor, and I had the camera down there. I was trying to get. It took all the way to the last day that you guys were here to get a hug from her though. She finally gave me a little hug, but she was playing on my head when we took the picture and all. But she's just a doll. She's as precious as she can be, and definitely a blessing from God for you guys, man. She's sweet as
Thank
she
you.
can be.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Good to see Carnivore Scott, Limitless Lindy, all you guys. I like this. Grumpy old Ben. He says, "You have enemies. Good. It means you stood for something in your lifetime." Sir Winston Churchill. I like that, brother.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Let's see. Good to see Miss Italian going Carnivore. And Cindy DeManchi. Good to see you too. Let's see. I'm trying to get down to my next questions. Hey, panel carnivores. Absolutely. I appreciate that, brother. These guys right here doing it. I love it.
Hey, I'd add too that Dr. Kiltz, whenever people were talking about a way to gain weight, he said make sure y'all eat some Kiltz ice cream because that
There
can
you
put
go.
something on you too.
There you go. Every once in a while, occasionally have your Dr. Kilt's ice cream. I haven't tried it. I'll be honest, but I have recommended it because people ask all the time, and I say if you're going to try it, try Kilt's ice cream. Let's see here. And that's the good thing too, man. I actually wrote that down before, like Rena actually said, lemon juice contains electrolytes. Yes, so I stand corrected. Um, no lemon, just electrolytes, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to do some research. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. I don't know. So I have no
I
idea.
googled it,
I
and
take
when I
y'all's word
googled
for
it,
it.
it said that on Google too. It's like not that the fruit itself is an electrolyte, but like
Right.
it does contain some like sodium and potassium and things like that. Just
Uh,
like how athletes might have like pickles with pickle juice and all that stuff, but maybe there's naturally something in it. That's not to say that
mhm.
the fruit itself is an electrolyte.
Yeah. Well, but the only problem with that is what else does it contain that you don't want? There's that's the only thing that like worries me about it. The
Mhm.
what is it? Fructose, sucrose. I don't know.
Yeah, there's better
So
ways to get your electrolytes.
yeah, just absolutely. There's Allison. She talked Sean Whalen. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. I want to get one of those shirts. Lions, not sheep. It's good stuff. What was I getting ready? So I was getting ready to bring out a point that I wrote down. I wrote something down in my other notebook to talk about, but I can't remember what I was looking at when I said it. So I guess if it's important, it'll come back, right? Oh, let's see. Meeting mail. Do you have an affirmation you use when you're feeling low or a favorite quote? Man, I have this book right here full of quotes and stuff that I write down and just thoughts that I think that gets me through. Usually for me, well, let's pass it off. How about you, Dave? You got a quote or a favorite affirmation that you say that whenever you're feeling down
Um,
to help you feel better? Something you
I
do?
I've got a quote that I try and remind myself of all the time, and it's really simple. You only ever regret the risks you never take. And
Mm.
yeah, I try and always bear that in mind because usually when I'm feeling low, it's because I'm feeling like, ah, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? And so I can try and keep that in mind all the time. Larry, how about you?
Yeah, I got a couple. My dad, my hero in my life. He was number one in the world, a cross country desert racer, for about 4 years. And he used to say to me, like when I was having a hard time, like in basketball or in high school, everybody deals with failures at times, and he used to say, "Failure is not the opposite of success; it's part of it." And that just always stuck with me. And he also used to quote Winston Churchill: "If you're going through hell, keep going." And
Hmm.
those two have always stuck with me. So Whenever I'm in the midst of a dark season, a storm, I always think of those, and I smile, and it helps. Kip, what about you, man?
I've always struggled to memorize like different quotes. I've heard tons over the years, but when somebody asks me something like that, I just go to thinking of a million things. So for me, honestly, I would say in my personal life, if I'm ever like down and in a bad situation or whatever, instead of just automatically remembering quotes, I just open up the Bible. And whenever I open
Mhm.
that up, like uh no matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm facing, I always get encouragement by reading a good book. Anybody?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, some of my favorite stuff obviously comes from the Bible. I will even make a roadway in the wilderness, Isaiah 43. I know the thoughts, I know the plans I have for you, Jeremiah. All there's so many different quotes. We could be here all night. As far as once you get out of the Bible for other stuff like that, one of my favorite quotes is Zig Ziglar. He says, if there's hope for the future, there's power in the present. And that one has always been one of my go-tos because that it's so powerful. If there's hope for the future, there's power in the present. Meaning, you better do what you're going to do today because today's what you got. And so many of us want to change, and I was that way for so long. But I realized tomorrow never comes. If I'm going to do it, got to do it today. So that's kind of one of the things that gets me going. And also, man, looking back at my video and some of the things I've said, I made 2 shirts for my channel. One of them is "Keep Pushing Forward," and I say that almost, Larry, you could attest to this from the very beginning. It was everything was keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward. It didn't start out as my mantra, but it developed into from that video that I posted last July of me walking for the first time outside to this day, it still motivates me. It becomes cliche. I know people are probably sick and tired of hearing me say keep pushing forward, but I can assure you, every single time I say it, I remember that day making that video, and it inspires me to know where I came from and pushes me to go forward. No matter what you face, keep pushing forward. So, oh. Are any of y'all dairy free? I'm trying 30 days of 95% dairy free. Larry, you dairy free?
Yeah, as far as cheese and everything goes, we're supposed to be coffee free this month. I did have a few, I think maybe 3 or 4 cups all month, and I had a little dairy in them. The day of our meetup, I got a coffee at Starbucks on the way up because Cassie and I had to drive like an hour, it was about 45 minutes up into the mountains. We had the cars loaded down with ice chests with all the food, enough meat to feed 50 people. And so, you know, I slipped a few times on our challenge, but for the most part, no dairy. I've gotten spurts where I've completely cut it out, and I hate to say it, man, I feel great when I'm not consuming it, but I've let cheese slip in back in. I've even on purpose, done a few experiments after not having it a while, like having an ounce of cheese, one day a week, or every day for a week, and an ounce of cheese. And that experiment, I gained 5 pounds of inflammation. I was retaining water just from 1 ounce of cheese every day for a week. So, but I, I love it. Dave, you eat dairy, right, Dave?
No dairy for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Poor
no, I'm
guy.
completely dairy free. And I was eating cheese up until about 3 or 4 months ago, but yeah, everything's gone now because I just do better without it. Kip, how about you?
Yeah, well, I've been dairy free for a while, for I don't know how many months now, but like probably 4 months back, I decided to like cut out dairy or whatever. Of course, whenever I've had my couple cheats, I had a Big Mac when it with some cheese or like some type of burger with cheese on it and all that stuff. Not gonna lie, but But whenever I went to Carnivore Quest meetup, whenever me and my wife were traveling up, I did allow myself to have some cheese whenever we were on that drive. We had stopped at like a Love's gas station and they had like some pepperoni wrapped in cheese or something. So I was like, I'm gonna get me a few of those, and it didn't kill me. I didn't step on the scale. I don't know if I was up a pound or two, but I mean, it got me through that trip and got me through that traveling.
I was wondering what you ate when you cheated, Kip. You never really went into it, in your videos.
I
Just
don't look. I feel like we're sitting in an AA class, and like
right,
I don't want to tell everybody exactly what brand of whiskey or what I
right.
mean. But I had a lot of bad things. Okay, I went to like Popeyes and a bunch of different places, and I ate like I used to eat.
Right.
Like I pigged out.
You,
And I
you
felt
know,
terrible afterwards, and my shoulders started hurting again and things like that. So, I mean, it's definitely not worth it, but yeah, I went off the deep end when I went.
yeah, Cassie and I, when we would cheat and we continue to cheat, it's like we reverted to eating like when we were teenagers, because we hadn't had this food in a while because we're on the carnivore diet. And it's just like we just go off the rails, I mean, eat all junk, not a little junk, just all junk. So I'm glad you're back on track.
Well, it reminds me of Dr. Barry talking about the people I've heard him mention about like people years ago, whenever they looked up and they come across some honey, they weren't like, oh, I'm just gonna have just a little bit of that honey or whatever. No, they went ham on it until it was all gone and they'd lay up for 2 or 3 days or whatever. That's kind of what it was like. Whenever I went off the rails, I just was packing it all in, and I guess I feel like I kind of got it out of my system, and then I got to thinking like, dude, no, you know what you need to do. So then I just had to start back.
Right.
I mean, have you ever seen an addict who wasn't that way?
The
Right.
truth.
Like, I mean, in all honesty, man, being around people and being an addict myself, like, I know that when you get on some of that stuff, man, my addiction was food. My addiction was alcohol for a long time. I could be addicted to anything. I could be addicted to pins, collecting pins, or I mean, it doesn't matter. Just the personality that I have is addicted. I have an addictive personality. I'm not a moderator, and which is amazing because that's how. But whenever you look at that stuff, man, like that, I don't usually. I have my Texas fajitas. That was my plan, and I stick to it. I'm testing myself with it, but honestly, if I should cut that out too. I mean, it's not like it's helping me. I still got to where I wanted to be, but
I
it's not like it was great. It didn't help me out at all.
I was always amazed, Sean, that you could do that because you used to call me and say, "Yeah, I had my off meal plan," and the next day you were right back to beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you didn't skip a beat, and I that always blew me away because that's not the norm.
Mm-mm.
Most of the time people at least struggle 2-3 days, even longer. But I was real fortunate that you had that. I mean, I guess you think that was just willpower? I mean, yeah, I mean,
I was literally trying to. In my mind, I'm thinking you have got to do hard stuff, and you can do the hard things. Like, it was my plan. It was like I have that built in as like a fail safe, but at the same time, I've got to be able to conquer this addiction. Like, I've got to literally change my mind about the situation. Is what it turned into. Subconsciously, did I know what I was doing, or was that really the plan? Like, I think at first it was like, if I can't go on anymore, that's going to be my fail safe to have something that's outside of the meat. But then it became, the reason I kept it was like, if you're changed, you can have that meal and then go right back to eating how you're going to eat. It's going to remind you every single time you have it, and it does, why I eat carnivore, because I feel like crap every time I put it into my body. It does not taste nowhere close to the same now as it did when I would eat it six times a week before going to carnivore. And I have parameters around it. And it's almost like you're saying, all right, how close can you get to your addiction and make your mind, make it nothing to you? Like, in my head, that's what I'm doing. It's almost like you're taking that addiction, you're putting it right here. How close can you get to it and walk away from it? because and then you become numb to the thing that used to just throw you completely out off track. You know, does that make sense, or am I psycho? Like,
No.
like that's just in my mind. Like that's what I'm doing. Like that's how I think of it. You know, because I think that we have to, when you learn to thrive. I was telling somebody else this today. When you learn to thrive in the grind and love the grind and get used to excelling and optimizing and outperforming when you're grinding and you're in the horrible circumstances, then which is most of the time, right? We mostly face the hard stuff of life, right? Nobody's life is usually mostly easy. So if you learn how to thrive in the grind of it all, in the monotony of it all, then when you get to the easy stuff, you're just going to excel like it's because it's going to be absolutely nothing for you, right? That's kind of how I try to approach it. Oh, there's Miss Sue. Hey, Miss Sue, good to see you. Killing it, killing it. Is there any particular reason that pork is not included in many carnivore conversations? All it seems to be mentioned is bacon, but there's chopped steaks, roast ham. Does it have a bad rap? Carnivore Kip, barbecue and cast iron. Tell us about pork and why it's not usually included except for bacon and pork belly.
Because steak tastes better. No, because I would say probably because it's not as clean of an animal. Like it's not like ruminant animals. I mean, I've did a little research on how they have the multiple chambers in their stomach and things like that, so they can kind of weed out more toxins or whatever than like pork can or like chicken can, and so stuff like that. But I know that bacon gets praised a lot because of the fat content that it has in it. Even though it still comes from the pig, it's got like a good fat ratio or whatever. That's why whenever Dr. Berry was coming up with the BBB and E or whatever, it got through in that mix because yes, it's pork, but it has a good like I don't remember if it's 1 to 1 or what the ratio is, but it has a good ratio of fat to protein, and of course no low carb, and of course low carb. But now if you're gonna do bacon, you want to watch your like sugar in the bacon and things like that. I believe you want to watch out for stuff like that whenever you do it, because you definitely don't want to be buying maple bacon or anything like that whenever you do have it. Anybody else? Oh, Dave, you got anything?
Well, I agree with everything you've said there. I would just like to add, like I personally eat pork just because ground beef in Japan is 40% pork. But yeah, I think if I had the option, I'd be eating 100% beef just because of the it's a little bit cleaner, like being ruminant. Larry, anything for you?
Yeah, when we do the beef butter bacon and egg challenge, that's where you're probably hearing this a lot, Sue. Is I actually Sean taught me this a while back. He heard it from Dr. Berry. It is 1 to 1 the fat ratio. Pork belly and bacon. But Cassie and I, we're not doing that particular challenge. We'll enjoy pork butt, chops, and I mean, some people might be pickier than us, but we love it. On occasion, we haven't had any this month because we're eating beef mainly. Actually, I did have a few bites at the meetup of a pork chop. But and another thing is it's cheap. I mean, beef can be expensive. And pork's a great option. So, if you're not doing the beef butter bacon and egg challenge and you feel good on pork, I don't see anything wrong with it. We've eaten a lot of it during our entire journey. So, Sean, anything to add?
I honestly no, man. I think you guys covered it all. The 1 to 1 fat to protein ratio and the bacon and pork belly I would have, but as far as the rest of it, yeah, man, you guys covered it.
I did
Pork's
want to
mon-
add what you were talking. I did want to add what you were talking about the other day, Sean. Whenever I was at your house and we were talking about the way we feel on beef, not just beef in particular. For me, and I believe it's the same for you, Sean. If I was to eat a pork chop or if I was to eat chicken, I feel like I would be hungry again way faster. It doesn't stick with me as well as if I eat like a ribeye, or not even a ribeye, like if I eat like brisket or something like that. I feel like it sticks with me better, and it's something about it. I can't explain it, but if I eat a bunch of pork chops or if I eat a huge ribeye, it's not the same. Like, it's just something's different about it, and so that's
Mhm.
another reason that I like to talk beef up so much, because the way I feel whenever I'm on it.
Yeah, like I can tell the difference in how I feel in eating a ribeye versus ground beef. Like, it's crazy. You say what you want to say. I'm just saying, like, I can tell a difference because when I got low on funds and couldn't go to the store until I got paid, like I had to use what was in the freezer, and we had ground beef, and so it's on my thing. I have it and I like it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with pork. There's nothing wrong with bologna. If eat what you can afford. I'm not saying the only way you can do it is to eat ribeyes. I'm just saying I have done it, and I can tell a difference in my body, in my energy, in the way that I feel when I between eating the two. So, but yeah, the monogastric versus well, I just versus the ruminants is the big difference. Oh, and this guy has, excuse me, guy. This Tammy McQueen has one of the best questions I've heard yet. Why does people watch and not hit the like button? This is a perfect opportunity for you to do just that. Hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that little subscribe button with the bell notification so that whenever we go live, you guys are reminded to come right here and join with us, and we would appreciate that. Thank you, Tammy. Oh, questions. You guys see anything I missed? Good night, Dr. Kiltz. Appreciate you jumping in. Next time, let me know. Shoot me a text and we'll send you a link. You can jump in with us, brother. Appreciate you. Love you, man.
Good night.
Take care, Dr.
Uh,
Kilt.
Steve Heater. Hey, Larry, if you doubled the cost of your next meet and greet just to get Dave there, that would be cool as hell.
Right. Yeah, man, it would be awesome to meet Dave. Heck, we might just head to Japan. Let's go.
I've just got to save up a few more frequent flyer miles, and I'll be able to get there. Yeah,
You're right.
just need a few more. I've got to buy a few more purchases on my credit card at Amazon, and I'll be there.
That would be so
Man,
cool. Could you imagine Dave in South Carolina? That'd be cool.
dude,
Yeah,
it would be awesome, man. I would enjoy it. And
it
we'd
would
have
be
a great
cool.
Yeah.
time. I had
I'd
to,
love to. I'm definitely going to come. I'm definitely coming one time.
Yeah, and we'll have to make plans to all meet up at a central location. That'd be really cool. That would be awesome. And I want to say, hey, Steve, and say hi to your wonderful wife for me. It was a pleasure meeting
yeah.
you guys. You guys were amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Great people. Let's see here. Miss Cindy says, Sean, Larry, it would be great to meet you guys at Keto Palooza. Well, you're going to get that opportunity come here pretty soon. So, now how it's set up, I have no idea. Can we locate each other? I don't know. But we'll be there. So, be looking forward to seeing you too, Miss Cindy.
For sure.
How far? Like, I'm still at 24. We've been on for an hour, and I'm like 20 minutes into questions. You guys, I told you you let me back. Carnivore Scott, would anything about the carnivore diet lead to anemia? Looks like I may have that to deal with. My RBC, hemoglobin, and hematocrit are too low, and lymph are elevated. I mean, that's a pretty good question, and probably something that probably want to ask one of the docs. But I mean, as far as like anemia, no. Typically, your red blood cells live longer once you start eating carnivore, is what I've heard. Dr. Barry and some of the other doctors speak to. So I mean, if you're having an issue with your red blood count and I don't know, not carrying oxygen correctly, it could be something that was going on that's completely unrelated to your diet. Because normally, what I've heard them say is that your red blood cells actually start living longer. That's why some people can see a rise in their A1C initially, and over time, it looks like their blood sugar over time is going back up. but it's really just that their blood is living longer and collecting more. So, I mean, that's probably a question that you'd want to ask one of the docs, man. It's above my pay grade. Go
Can
ahead.
I just
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm anemic.
Mm.
So I would just say, are you on blood thinners? Because that's the reason I'm anemic. So I take some aspirin just to keep my blood thin, and that's what causes the problem. So if it's not that, then I would definitely be going to see the doctor. Like if it's blood thinners, then that's a very clear explanation of why. But otherwise, I'd be going to the doctor, as Sean suggested. Yeah, Larry, did you have anything to add?
No, I got nothing there.
Okay.
Yeah, that went right over my head.
Good to see you, Scott. Hey, Carnivore Kip. Proud of you hanging in there. I'm 61-year-old former police officer, firefighter, EMT here in Florida, and been where you were. I was 480 pounds, been low carb, and now I'm below 400 pounds.
Awesome.
Congratulations to you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Very cool.
That is
Sure.
awesome.
Yeah, kids will
Nice.
get there, man. Don't let them cheating videos fool y'all. Y'all don't
Oh
see
yeah,
what's
I'm
up.
here. I'm here to stay, y'all. I'm here to stay. I had my
Kip
moment.
ain't.
I had my moment, and I had a lot of people. A lot of people worried. A lot of people been worried today and messaging me all day and all this other stuff. Look, I'll just say it here. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, I had a moment, but like I've helped too many people, more people than I thought I would have helped by having a channel, because people have been reaching out to me all day telling me, you don't know how much you've helped me. And so that has all been encouraging. So like I can't give up, especially not because of haters. I can't give up because of haters.
Absolutely. No, did y'all see a website Dr. Berry posted for local ranchers and farmers to put their info on to the keto carnivore people to buy from? I haven't seen that. You guys seen that?
I noticed a tweet he put out about it, but I didn't actually go to the website.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it's something similar to like that Farmish app that Cassie and I use to find those eggs that are locally raised. So I'm sure it's something like that. What about you, Kip? Did you see it?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it myself.
Absolutely. Let's see. If you search YouTube, the keto diet, first videos from official health services, you have to scroll to find individual creator. Yeah, of course. I mean, I've noticed that some of my stuff isn't getting as many views, even though my subscriber base is going up. As far as going back to what we were talking about earlier, I think I finally ran into some people that was commenting on that. But at the same time, I haven't been putting out as many videos, so I don't know if that's part of the reason or what, because I really don't. Like Larry tries to give me advice, and I'm so hard headed. Like but I got to get stuff made and put out. I spend so much time talking to talking to people that and in other people's groups, that I'm not making my own content, and that's going to start changing here pretty soon too, because I gotta focus and zero down and get some more videos out. Maybe that'll help the algorithm pick it up a little more. Oh, let's see here. Scroll. I thought I saw one. It wasn't a Q. It was a C. My eyes are starting to crossing and go better. We've been on. It's been an hour and 8 minutes. You guys, if you got any questions, get them in. If not, we're gonna start wrapping this thing up. And I'm gonna scroll through. You guys try to help me find. So there's my buddy DC. You guys go check out his channel too. DC Learning to Live. This guy's got an awesome story. I definitely want to get him on and have a talk with him. I did an interview with him. He's got a great channel, great story as well. Appreciate you, DC. Everybody's in here tonight. Our buddy, my buddy John sent me a shirt, man. I got a picture, sent it to him. I have to post one of them too. I got a Carnivore Quest shirt. I mean, these shirts, man. I'm like, who was it I was talking with? Carnivore Soldier. Have you guys talked to him? Lawrence? He's another great one.
I was so glad to meet John at the Carnivore Quest meetup and get to talk to him some too. I think I'm doing something with him sometime. I think it's like the middle of October. I'm excited about it. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I wanted to say thanks, John, Backwoods Carnivore, because you told me that my daughter got me a drone. Her and her fiance got me a nice drone to start using for YouTube videos, and he let me know that you need a license from the FAA to operate one of those, record video, and put it on a monetized YouTube channel. So I
So
appreciate
what's that?
you to use a drone footage. You know what I mean? Like, say I go out my backyard and I launch the drone and I take footage of the property, and then
Yeah.
I upload it to a YouTube channel that's monetized. Yeah, you have to have a license to do that. And I looked it up actually today, and you were 100% correct, buddy. It's $175 to get the license.
Wow.
You got to take a
For
test
what?
just so you know the rules and regulations of using a drone. And I mean, they say it's a gray area. Like, even if your YouTube channel's not monetized, you could still get a violation, get a fine, because you're perhaps trying to grow your YouTube channel. They basically say, but definitely if you're monetized. If you're monetized, you'll get a ticket and you'll get fined. And but I'm glad you let me
Wow.
know that, man, because I was about to, now that the weather's cooled off, I was going to go out and learn how to use it and start, using it on the channel, but it'll be a little while now.
I'm super glad you said that. First off, is that Larry, is that like nationwide or is that like in your state?
No, it's nationwide.
Well, I'm really glad that you said that because whenever I was talking about, because for my run videos, it's kind of hard to do some of the, because I have to hold everything by myself while I'm doing it. And so I kept getting comments from people telling me, oh, you should get a drone, you should get a drone. But I had no idea that there would be like a requirement against that. And I couldn't imagine being out there running with a drone and the next thing I know, I get fined.
Right.
I just want to put this out here. I'm glad you said it too, because number one, I don't have a drone, and now it doesn't sound. I don't know that I'll get one, but that is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my entire, maybe not my entire life, but today, absolutely. Why in the world would I have to pay to do something on my own property, fly a drone to get picture of my own property? I mean, I could see if I was jumping in a personal aircraft and flying around somewhere, I need some kind of license or certification. A drone to take footage on my. Give me a
Yeah.
break.
No, I
Wow.
see their point. Like, as far as knowing the rules. Like, if you're flying over people or near power lines, I could see where they'd want you to know the basic rules. But yeah, if you're like you said, if you're on your property, no one's around, I guess they got to make a distinction, though.
That still doesn't explain the $175.
That's
Well,
what I was getting ready to say.
yeah,
The rules are you pay homage to the
That's
government,
that's
$175. That's the rule.
that
right.
sounds like the FAA's monetization. That's their
Yeah,
YouTube monetization.
exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
I'm
if
all
if you're
about freedom, and to me, when they come up with stuff like that, that's like really, really encroaching on freedom. But I mean, what can you do?
America.
I guess we're gonna have another American Revolution or something, get freedom back.
Might be coming.
Yeah. Peachy Pam in Maryland, good to see you, friend. Did either of did either of your start journey with keto or jump right on carnivore? Uh, Larry, what about you, buddy?
We actually started on Atkins, Pam. We started on Atkins, and then we went to keto, and then it was right when Dr. Berry, started doing the carnivore diet. We made the jump right when he did. We kind of followed his lead. So we had a hard time with keto. We for a number of reasons we couldn't stick to it. So, but yeah, we did all three. Dave, what about you?
I found that this worked for me years ago by doing Atkins, but this time around, yeah, I went in through keto. So went keto and carnivore just kind of happened naturally. Kip, how about you?
Well, I had a good bit of experience with keto, and I got a lot of respect for keto because I did have some amazing results on keto as well. But keto began once they kept coming out with more treats and things like that, and I started caving into that stuff, it kind of changed keto for me, and it made keto more like a being on like a some ride that just spins around and around because I would be doing good and then I would be doing bad and doing good and doing bad and just going back and forth with keto. And then that's why I actually had taken a break from keto before I started carnivore. And whenever I started carnivore, I just went straight in. I think doing keto helped me with carnivore because like I knew what it was like to become fat adapted, and I knew what to expect with like, keto flu and all that stuff. So I was a little bit prepared with that, but it was just a straight transition for me when I went to carnivore.
I'm scrolling through, running through. Oh yeah, and by the way, yeah, I started on carnivore, and then after a month and a half, went to beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and that's just where I've landed ever since. And I've tried line twice, made it 3 weeks both times on just the beef, salt, and the last time I had beef, salt, and butter because I thought I wasn't getting enough fat, but I just couldn't do the lion for whatever reason. Whatever it is about them eggs, man. Maybe it's the .6 carbs that's in them that just keeps me addicted. I don't know, but I'll take it. It makes a difference.
I think Sean's gonna do it one day. I'm not saying that Sean's gonna do it like forever. I'm not saying that, but I think you're the type of guy that like you haven't done it for that long period of time. I feel like eventually you're gonna get to that point where you're just like, I just want to do it and prove to myself that I can do it for a long time. I can see you doing
Mm,
that one day.
I'm weird like that, dude. I do stuff like that. Oh man. Mark says, I will lose 5 to 10 pounds a month, but I only lose for 1 week, then stall for 3 weeks. Every month is the same. Lose 1 week, stall for 3 weeks. Do most people lose like this? I mean, I don't, I don't, I don't know what to tell you about that, friend. Like, I mean, it depends on how you're losing weight. Honestly, I mean, it really does. I mean, are you starving yourself? I mean, you can lose weight a million different ways, right? So, are you under eating for a week, and then whenever you start back eating, you gain all of the weight back that you thought you were losing by under eating? Then, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen. You've got to maintain your body, like give it the nutrients that it needs, and when it gets ready to release the weight, if you're just giving it fat and protein, it will do what it knows to do with that. It's not about under eating to lose weight. It's about your body saying we've healed what we need to heal. We're going to release the fat and the stuff that's harming your body because the obesity and the inflammation is hurting your body, and your body knows this, and it will do what it needs to do to get that off. But if you undereat, you're going to trick your body, and your body's going to say, nope, he's starving us. Hold on to everything. Anybody else want to add anything into that?
I'll just add, Mark, and what's up, by the way. I just add that everybody's different, with all the
Mm-hmm.
thousands of people Cassie and I have corresponded with in the last 2.5 years. Everybody's got a different, a story as far as our weight loss. We've seen people stall for up to 2 years. I went a year without anything moving. So, and other people, it just melts off of them. So, as long as you're feeling good, I wouldn't sweat it. Kip or Dave. Dave, we'll go to you, buddy. What do you think?
So, yeah, I would just kind of take what Sean said and what you said and put them together. I think it's person by person, and you just got to make sure you're feeding your body, and you just got to have patience. You don't know really what's happening inside your body as far as healing goes, so you just got to be patient with it. Kip, did you want to add?
Um, I struggled early on with like wanting to get results, get results. I want to get fast results, and because I mean, everybody that's severely obese, when they start losing weight, they get excited about it. Like it's exciting because it's not normal for them, And so I was excited to be losing weight, but sometimes along the path, there's times where your body is adjusting and adapting, and sometimes your body will hang on to weight and take a while to gain some of the, or to lose some more weight. But I would say to your question, like it just depends. If you're stall, when you say stall, if you mean if you actually mean stall and you don't actually gain some of the weight back, then I think over time you're still going to be good because slowly you're working yourself downhill. And it may not be happening overnight, but you're slowly, you'll lose a little bit, and then you'll plateau, and then you'll lose a little bit and plateau. And that's fine because you're headed in the right direction. But if you are, when you say stall, if you're putting some of it back on, then we have a problem that we need to figure out what's causing that problem. But otherwise, you might just need to have that, what they call it, the vitamin P or whatever, the patience.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, Cassie. Recently, Cassie heard Kelly Hogan talk about her weight loss, and it took her 3 to 4 years to get it all off. So that really gave Cassie, she didn't feel so bad then. I mean, Cassie's doing great, but so it's different for everybody.
Absolutely. I'm gonna do this question, and I got a super chat I want to get to as well. Carnivore newbie here for 1 month, starting to get eczema on my ankles. Is that normal? Will eczema get worse before it gets better while eating carnivore? Dave, you got anything for that?
My eczema improved. I'm not sure. I would think, is that maybe something related to oxalate dumping or something like that? I'm not sure. Larry, any thoughts?
I actually had that same exact thing happen, but it was a little above my ankles, just like the lower part of my calf on both legs, and it lasted. It was, I believe, it was oxalate dumping, but it lasted, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks, and it was itchy. It was itching me, it was bugging me, and then it cleared up. But I've a lot of people, their eczema has cleared up that I've talked to. Cassie had eczema when I first met her. She really doesn't have any problems with it anymore. Our daughter Holly had really bad eczema growing up, and she's keto, sometimes carnivore, and her skin is so much better. But that could also be with her just getting older, because as a child she had it really bad. But I would definitely say, the carnivore diet is going to help your eczema. So that's probably, I would bet that that's a temporary thing you're going to go through. Hopefully that'll clear up. Kip.
Well, I'll leave that one to y'all professionals because I haven't had to deal with any eczema or anything like that, so I'm not the guy for that one. You got anything, Sean?
Oh, I would just say, like, I haven't had an issue with the eczema as bad, but like I did have after a couple months some oxalate dumping that started out of nowhere. So it could be the oxalate dumping. That's what I would probably think that it would be going on, but it's usually short lived. Everything I've heard about it was short lived. Just know that, especially if it is the oxalates, if it's inside of you, it's best to stick with the process, trust the process, and keep pushing through, because that stuff is not going to do any good if it stays on the inside. Get it detox, get it out, and you're going to be 100. You're going to feel great. So, hopefully you could get that one figured out. Sorry, I can't help you anymore on that one. I'm gonna try to get this other comment question. Thank you, Mark, for the super sticker.
Thank you, Mark.
We appreciate that, friend.
Cheers.
And trying to get to, I think I passed a bunch, but as always, I screw the chat up. Bill says, anyone experience gout eating these meat?
I haven't.
Dave?
So I would just like to say my understanding of the chances of getting gout eating a carnivore diet are minuscule, because gout is like excess uric acid, and excess uric acid is driven by consumption of fructose primarily. And it gets blamed as being red meat, and I think red meat does increase uric acid levels, but if you're not consuming fructose, then you're not going to have a problem. And that's why you don't have a million YouTube videos with carnivores saying, yeah, it was really good, but now I can't move my feet. You know, it's there's no people out there talking about how they've suddenly got gout. You know, Larry, did you want to add anything to this one?
No, I've never personally dealt with gout, but recently, a good friend of mine, I used to work with, he had about a gout come up. He actually thought he sprained his ankle, and it turned out it was gout. And I told him, man, you get on the carnivore diet. Well, he talked to his doctor about it. His doctor said, absolutely not. Red meat causes gout. And I told him to, check out Dr. Barry's videos on it. And I'm hoping, I mean, he's a strong young guy. I hope he finds the carnivore diet before he's an old man like me. So anyway, Kip.
No, I've never had to deal with it. Thankfully, I've been blessed not to have to deal with that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now that gout is one of the worst pains I've ever experienced in my life. I used to take 300 milligrams twice a day of allopurinol, and I used to also have colchicine for when I had flare ups of to take, because even opiate pain medicine wouldn't touch it. It still hurt like
Wow.
it was crazy. Like, look, what is it? The Norco 15 milligram Norcos, even the 15 milligram Norcos wouldn't touch it. Like
Damn.
nothing. So, I had to have that allopurinol and that colchicine, and I had to stay on it, and it kept me sick all the time. And I have not taken any of that medication in well over a year now, and I eat meat every single day, and nothing's happening. So my uric acid, last time I had it checked, which was 6 months ago or almost, or whatever now, it was around a 6, and I still haven't had a flare up at all. So it's definitely not red meat. It was typically an issue with your kidneys filtering that uric acid, but I have not had a problem, and I used to get gout flare ups all the time eating the standard American toxicity that we project
Well,
in this country.
I got a question for all you guys. What's the worst pain you've ever experienced? Mine was abscess tooth for about 13 days when I could not get to a dentist, and then maybe broken ribs. But what about you, Sean? Was gout the most brutal pain you
Mm.
felt? I
Broken
mean,
ribs is broken
during
ribs
the
is a
sorry.
beast, bro.
Yeah.
But gout, hands down, like physical pain, yeah, gout by far. There's nothing even close. Nothing compares to it. Not even close.
Wow. Kip.
Well, I guess I've been lucky because I hadn't had to deal with either one of those. But the worst pain that I can remember being in, there was one time where I had my wisdom teeth removed, and then after they removed them, whenever they did, there was a nerve that went up to my ear, and so I got like a severe ear infection, and I had that at the same time with the wisdom tooth. And my wife can tell you she couldn't even be around me for days. All I did was like lay on the couch, and I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wanted everybody to be quiet, and it was in agony for days and days. And it felt like tons of hornets were just flying around and stinging me inside of my ear. That's why, like, if I even think my daughter might be getting an ear infection now, I'm like, hey, we need to go to the doctor, just because I'm worried that, like, I don't want her to go through what I went through with that one.
Yeah, it could be brutal. Dave.
I was going to say the arthritis that I experienced, but then when I heard you, Larry, talk about the abscess tooth, I'm going, oh, yeah, I remember what it was like when I had like one of my teeth kind of abscess, I think, and it was just awful, and I couldn't get to a dentist to get it fixed for about a week. It was just, yeah, pain.
Brutal. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
in rehab when I've had multiple, I have fake teeth, I have dentures, and I had multiple abscesses throughout my life, but I was in rehab and I woke up on New Year's Day and I had a tooth that exploded. And this was big boy rehab. There was no getting you to the dentist, or they weren't a medical facility. So I either had to rough it until either my face, expanded from the swelling and they take me to the emergency room, or they did make dentist appointments, but it took like 2 weeks to get in. It was all done through a charity. And I couldn't leave the program because my marriage was on the line. Cassie is fed up with my drinking. And oh my gosh. I remember guys in the program giving me ibuprofen. It was 13 days I went, and finally my face started swelling out to here. And then they took me to the ER and they got me some antibiotics. But that was a long 13 days. And I was going to say, too, there's no women on the panel. We all know, what the women would say the worst pain is, which I don't even want to know about childbirth.
I have heard women say that gout was worse than childbirth. I have heard that
Wow.
from women, yeah, and so that's
Really?
why I'm like, man, good gracious, I've never given birth, so I can't testify to that, and I'm not planning on doing it anytime soon. But that's what they said. So I have had gout. I couldn't lay with like a sheet over my foot whenever I would have in my big toe have gout flare. It was absolutely ridiculous. I would be in tears just rolling around. It was horrible, man. So whatever they charged for that medication to clear it up, I would have paid it back then. It was stupid, ridiculous anyway.
Right.
So if you're dealing with gout out there, let me be the one to tell you, try Carnivore. Stick with it if you want to get rid of that pain, because that pain is horrible, and I definitely don't miss that at all.
Right. Okan Dragon just said his wife dealt with kidney stones. Those are I've heard those are bad too. Brutal.
Yeah, I have heard the same thing as well. And I think that is that's a wrap, man. You guys want to say anything before we close out? Larry or Dave? Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Thank you to everyone for joining us. I look forward to this every week, and I really love catching up with you guys, and much appreciated. Thank you all so much. Larry.
Yeah. Everybody who tuned in, it was good to see y'all. It was a bummer we missed last week. We were all busy, but actually, no, Dave and Sean, you guys did a late night one. Yeah, that's right. You guys did a live stream after the meetup, but always cool to hang out with these fellas. And thanks again, everybody, for watching. Before you bail, hit that like button. Kip.
Absolutely. It was good to be on here again with y'all tonight and see everybody in the chat. It's just a great time, and we get to fellowship and have fun. And for those of y'all that were at the meetup that we had, it was awesome to meet y'all. And for those of y'all that haven't got to go to a meetup or anything like that, just know that we love y'all too, and we understand that everybody lives in different places and can't come to every event. But we do care about y'all too, because we start having a lot of friendships from the different people that we meet on these different YouTube channels and stuff like that. So y'all mean a lot to us, and thank y'all for being here tonight.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys, man. You know how I feel about you guys. I love you guys. I always have a great time. And for everybody who tuned in tonight, no matter what channel you're on, hit that like button, as they said before. We look forward to seeing you guys. And you guys don't know how much of an encouragement you are to us. We say it, we can't overstate it, but we do appreciate you guys, from the encouragement comments to the donations to the chats to the whatever you guys are involved with. We're a community, and we're not meant to do life alone. So we appreciate you guys tuning in every week, and we will look forward to seeing you next time right here next Friday at 9. We'll see you. So you guys take care, stay strong, and keep pushing forward.